coordinator here in our office. Okay, so before we get started with the panelists, we're going to ask that everyone either get out their phone and take a picture of that QR code or minimize your screen on your browser. Go to www.mentee.com. And we have a quick question. Our panelists, you do not have to do that, but if everyone else could do that. And then Deb, can you share your screen to the Mentimeter? That would be great. So our question today is, how would you describe your first mentor session with your students? The code for the Mentimeter is 328228.
Awesome responses coming in, Michelle.
We see it. Does everybody see it? Interesting. So happy to see her again. That is the best. Enlightening, apprehensive. Absolutely. It is scary first person to person, or it's a little nerve-wracking even virtually. Funny, awkward, frightful, wonderful. Awesome. Seems like interesting is the biggest one going on right now. Quiet. And it can be, if you have a student that's not very talkative, it can be very quiet. Yep. Exhilarating. I love that. Very rewarding. Awesome. I love watching these mentor meters. It's all good stuff. All right. All right, we're going to stop sharing that and we're going to move on. I like doing the Mentimeter. It's a great icebreaker. And I think this is a really nice transition. We'll be asking our students how they felt their first time as well, meeting with their mentor. So let's see what their responses are going to be. We just move on. So I want to do first an introduction of our students. Trinity is a fifth grader and has been in the Lunch Pal program for 3 years and has had 3 mentors. She is with her current mentor for the past 2 months. Jade is an 8th grader and he is an IB, she's an 8th grader and has been a Lunch Pal since last spring. Matthew is a 10th grader. He is an IB student and is a Take Stock in Children's Scholar. And then Sanjay, or Sage, either one she likes to be called, is a junior at the University of Sajin, sorry, thank you, Sajin, and she is at the University of North Florida. She graduated from Seminole High School in Seminole. So my first question is going to be with Trinity. I'm going to change my speaker view. I'm going to stop sharing. Let me do that first. Am I still sharing my screen, guys? I can't remember. Nope.
No, you're good.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
We've got
All
Trinity spotlighted.
Okay, excellent. Is she not beautiful or what? All right, Trinity, are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
Could you tell us why you like having a mentor?
Because they motivate you to do good things and they tell you like your goal, what you can do when you get in middle school and high school.
Awesome. What is one activity that you like to do with your mentor that you really enjoy?
Eat and talk about school, grades.
Do you remember your first time that you met with this particular mentor?
My first mentor?
Yeah. Well, how about the mentor that you have currently? What's it like? What was that first meeting like?
It was normal.
It was normal. Okay, great. All right. I'm going to pose a question to Jade. Do we want to spotlight Jade? Can we do that, Sheila? So Jade, what were your first thoughts about having a mentor?
Um, am I unmuted? Yeah, okay.
Nope, you're good.
So, having a mentor, I felt like I needed it because like before I had a mentor, like I had no idea like what my goals were for the future. And like now I'm like pretty positive of what I'm going to be doing.
Wow, pretty positive. I like that. How do you feel about having a mentor now, or could you describe that experience? Meeting your mentor for the first time, what was that like?
So at first it was really like nerve-wracking, but like after like that it was just like more comfortable and I was able to like talk to him and like now it's just like it's normal.
Have you done any particular activities or talked about any particular topics that have had meaning for you?
Well, I mean, just like about my future and like high schools and stuff, like where I'll be going, like that was pretty important to me.
Uh-huh. Okay. Awesome. Matthew.
Hello.
Hi. What were your first thoughts about having a mentor?
My first thoughts about having a mentor were, I thought it was going to be like a little awkward. I mean, I thought I'd be just sitting quiet for a little while and then maybe talk about what's going on with our lives. But after the first session, it got a little easier, got more comfortable, and we eventually just started talking about anything. Or, well, last session we actually talked about our dogs, which was pretty funny. Yeah, it's gotten comfortable and it's gotten a little easier to talk to each other.
How long have you had this particular mentor?
Since the beginning of the year, I think.
Okay. Is this the first mentor that you've had?
No, I had one last year, but it got cut off because of quarantine, but also because he had some family issue.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sage, can you tell us one important thing or impactful moment that you had with your mentor in high school?
Yeah, absolutely. But man, there's so many. I have to like think of one. So my mentor was actually someone who was also my teacher. So we interacted a lot. So the like boundaries of mentorship and teacher were a little bit more blurred for me because I saw her every day. But I remember I met her my sophomore year and she mentored me all the way through senior year. And from the moment we met, the diction that she used with me wasn't, if you go to college and you do this, if you do that. It was, well, when you go to college, when you do that, when you do this. And that was huge for me because I wasn't someone, I'm a first generation college student. To me, college seemed like this huge far away thing that was super scary to get to. So for someone to be so confident in me that they're telling me when I get there rather than if I get there, really like helped me change how I view myself. And that was kind of like in the beginning of meeting her. And that was super big for me. So.
Tell me something. What would you say to your younger self about having a mentor and the meaning of that?
I would say it is absolutely crucial because I'm a college student now, but I've actually sought out mentorship. I now have a mentor in my field. Like basically one of my professors mentors me and is helping me kind of plan how to get to grad school and kind of all these things. And to my younger self, I would say like, be sure to seek out the mentorship, like find the right mentor for the season of life you're in. I guess hopefully that answers your question, but.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does. Thank you. Trinity. Are you there? I'm trying to see her. Trinity, are you there?
She's there and she's unmuted.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So Trinity, what would you say to yourself, your younger self, about why it's important to have a mentor?
it's important because when you like falling down in school, they'll motivate you come back up, and they'll motivate you when you like to have good grades.
Excellent. Jade, what would you say to the mentors out there about why mentoring is so important to you? You'll have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Sure. What would you say? So we have lots of mentors on this Zoom session right now. What would you say to the mentors about why it's so important for you to have a mentor?
So I think it's important. So that way, like, you never feel like alone. Like there's always somebody to like be there for you and like let you like reach your goals, help you get there. So it's really important to just have someone by your side so you can like not be alone like ever.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. That's so important for us to know that. That's perfect. And Matthew, a final question to you. What would you say is the most important reason why you should have a mentor or that kids should have mentors?
Basically, I think the most important reason you have mentors is it kind of gives you a chance to relax and kind of talk to somebody about your issues. It's basically like a little therapy session that, it stays between you and them. You get to talk about pretty much anything you want. It could be something that happened in your day. It could be some problem you're having. Basically, it just helps you get advice and basically helps you move on from, let's just say you had problems in school, or if you need to talk to somebody about whatever, it basically just needs, you just need to talk to somebody. And that's really, I think, very beneficial.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. If anyone has any questions for our students, like to share anything with them, you can unmute your mic or put it in the chat. Let's see, Dee wrote, thank you. This perspective is important and you did a great job. You did, all you guys did a really great job about sharing what mentoring has meant to you, why it's important. So Barbara Grinnell has her hand raised. Great, Barbara, you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Okay. Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Well, here's my question of the students that I've frankly just been curious about, and that is, and I think it's kind of been alluded to by a couple of the students and the things they've said, but I've been curious to know, what is it that really motivates a student to go to, say, their teacher or their guidance counselor and say, I really would like to have a mentor? Is there some kind of like common denominator in that request?
Sage, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, sure. I, as someone who is, a junior in college now, I'm much more outspoken and extroverted. So I'm trying to think back, what would be my motivator in high school? Because now I just am used to that relationship. So I'm going to continue to seek it out. But I think maybe just having like an internal drive for change. And if you see like a teacher who you kind of look up to or role model, or like you kind of view them as a role model, that could be a drive to seek it out. But I would say, honestly, I didn't ask for my mentor. My mentor found me. And I think there's like a lot of power in that, because especially like with high school and middle school students, it's super scary to go up to an adult and be like, hey, can you like pour into my life? Like I could not imagine myself doing that when I was like 16. So I know this maybe isn't the best answer. I think it's a little hard to say because I almost never had that experience, because my mentors kind of saw something in me and decided to take action and foster that.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Debbie?
So we've got some questions coming in on our chat. The first one is, this could go for Jade, Matthew, and Sage. I'm a new mentor working with a 7th grade student. Do you have any advice for me?
Jade, do you want to answer that question? Not to put you on the spot.
Sure. So my advice is just like if they're like more quiet or like they don't like as much like as talk, try to like engage with them. Cause I know with my mentor, like at first I was really quiet, but like they just like asked me a whole bunch of questions. They showed interest in like what I like. They asked me like all sorts of questions to like just try to like engage with them, you know?
Great, that's awesome.
Yep.
Great.
We
Can
have
I add
another
to
one.
that?
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was great, Jade. I think that's super good advice. So I'm also in a mentor role. I'm actually a tutor and I work with 7th and 8th grade students as well. And I have learned if you feel awkward, try not to like act on that awkwardness. Like, because you're going to, like, as adults, we think we have it all together, but it's really like, no, we're nervous and feel scared and awkward too. But I know I try to just be like the driving force in the conversation. And like, if I feel awkward and quiet, I'm not just going to be quiet. Like, try to say things and make them feel comfortable and talk about a bunch of random things until you find the thing that they are interested in. Like, that's what I try to do with my tutoring students that I meet. And I'm so appreciative when my mentors have done that with me, because I'm like, I don't want to say anything. And so when they take the lead and try to just find that common point, kind of the way Jade was saying.
Great, excellent. Thank you.
So we have another question from Eva. How do you feel we can ease the awkwardness of the first time meeting between mentee and mentor? And Sage, I think you kind of touched on that, but maybe can we get our...
How about Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew, you want to answer this question?
Sure. Basically, what I think would be a good idea, because when I first started out, I felt kind of awkward and didn't really know what to talk about. Maybe kind of turn it into a sort of a game. I mean, maybe do some activities that could kind of, pull it out of them, because if they're just going to sit there and be quiet, you're not going to get any progress. So maybe make it into something to where they don't maybe sort of realize that they're kind of forcing it out of you, to say, but kind of to where it's a little more comfortable for them and make it a little more entertaining.
Great, excellent. One more question.
All right. So what would you say to an adult who wants to mentor but hasn't before and is nervous about it?
Trinity, would you like to answer that question? So if an adult is really nervous and they haven't started mentoring, what would you say to that adult to get them to mentor a student?
I would just say just go for it and don't be nervous at all.
Mm-hmm. Jump in, someone wrote. Jump in, absolutely jump in. Excellent. All right, any final words from our panel? Any thoughts before we close? Because I know you guys have to get back to class. Any last words?
Like to add kind of to what Trinity said, I think that's super great. Yeah, just jump in and, keep in mind they're probably excited about it too. If they're not, then it's, there's other issues going on, but like they also want to be there and are excited and want to learn from you. And so, just remember what your motivations are. You want to teach them and help them grow, and just have that be at like the forefront of your mind. Because it can be nerve-wracking, but super like rewarding. And I'm saying that from the student end. And so just know like we also really appreciate it, and it means a lot to us, even if we don't always show it. So.
Excellent. Awesome.
Answer a question.
Sure, go ahead, Trinity. What is it that you want to say?
It's from Faith. It said that his a third grade, she's not very, or he's not very talkative. When I first had my mentor in third grade, it was like nervous, but I wasn't, because I knew that we can like talk, but I didn't show it. And if she's not talkative, you can like make something interesting or something like that.
Like an activity or a topic, right? Yeah.
And like you can show interest, like, or make the conversation like more interesting. That's my opinion.
Excellent. That's a great opinion. Thank you so much. Are they not just absolutely wonderful? I want to just give a big shout out. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. You did a great job, panel. So you can, now you're more than welcome to stay on because we're going to go into breakout rooms and you'll be in a breakout room with the group, or you can go back to class depending upon what your teacher wants you to do. All right?
Hi, can I say
Yes.
something for a little bit? I'm actually
Sure.
Trinity's mentor, her new mentor
Oh.
she's got 2 months ago. And actually, when I was in elementary, I had a mentor myself. So it was an honor to mentor her because I remember that making a huge difference for me. Even someone to talk to that never judged me, didn't know much about me until they actually talked to me. So I think that was a really big thing for me, helped me get through school. Like someone I knew wasn't going to judge me, give me the best advice that they could, as well as take my perspective in, as well as everyone else's. So that was huge for me. So I'm trying to do the same for her, keep on the right track and follow her until she graduates high school, even after that.
Woo!
So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for mentoring. I think
You're
someone
welcome.
has their hand raised. Do you want to unmute yourself? And did you want to ask a question?
Hey,
Hey,
I'm
Hey,
Jane's
Erica.
mentor, and I just wanted to say that
great.
she was set up with me through her basketball coach. And I think that from the school level, it's super important to match the right mentor with the mentee. And I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I've had 2 mentees. And I think that as a mentor, after, you obviously want to try it and stay for a few months, but I think it's important to have the right kid with the right mentor too. And to communicate with the school liaisons and have the students be able to say that, I'm not comfortable with this mentor. The first round I had a boy and he went to the liaison. He's like, I'd rather have a man. Okay. And I think that the important part, if I had to tell the mentors or the mentees anything, is make sure it's a good fit, because you want to be here through their school or through life, whatever the case may be. And like Jade's one of my favorite people. Like literally, I look forward to every single Wednesday with her. And so it's important to have that bond. And if it's still uncomfortable 3 months in, maybe you have a conversation either with your mentee or with the school and say, hey, we need a better icebreaker, or maybe I'm not the mentor for them. But I tell everybody that this is one of the most rewarding things outside of being a parent.
Love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if we have any of the other mentors on.
We have someone who Cookie has raised her hand.
Hi, Cookie. You have to unmute.
Hi. I have a 13-year-old little mentee, and she had a 20-year-old mentor last year, and they sat face to face. So number one, I'm a lot older than the mentee that she had, and I'm trying to relate to her. But the whole half an hour we spend together, she's either talking about what she's eating or she's pulling up Minecraft and just drawing in front of me. And I've tried all kinds of ways to try to draw her out. She's all over the place. How do I help rein her in? How do I get to talk to her? Any suggestions?
Hi, this is Liz. I just chimed in. How you doing?
Good.
So I've been a mentor for 3 years now. My student started as a failure, couldn't read, was going to be held back. Now she's an A/B honor student in the 5th grade. So one of the things I did was did activities with her. We would do puzzles. In the library, they would have, I forget what that book is called, but they would have the little activities in there during lunch. And then we went on to do reading. So you kind of introduce them into the areas that they're kind of struggling in. We also do the picture drawing. So what we do as we're coloring in the pictures, we're talking. So that's one of the techniques I use with her, because you have a short time and they want to eat real fast, but then you don't have a lot of time to connect. So that's one of the ways I use to connect. We do activities. And again, as we're doing these activities, hey, how was your day? How's your family doing? what's going on in school. And that's one way we were able to open up and break the ice.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any suggestions?
My suggestion is to talk about what she's doing. I mean, if she's drawing Minecraft things, ask her about Minecraft. I mean, it's okay that you don't know. Like the fact that she is the expert gives her, power and a way to connect. And if you then remember something, write down some of the information she's telling you, ask her the next week. That will blow her mind. You know what? And if you just look up like a 5-minute YouTube video on it and then ask her questions about it and be interested in what she's interested in, because that's valuing her, right?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have some other people that raised their hand. You want to unmute? Go ahead, Keisha. Is that how you say your name?
Keisha, yes. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Just so I have a new mentee this year. And what I did was when we first met, and it's true, we don't have a lot of time. We meet on his lunch break. He brings his lunch to the office and we speak. But what I did initially was I just pretty much introduced myself. I asked him to do the same. I got to know a little bit about him. And I also prepared with an activity that the school provided us with, which was good because I think they gave us like maybe 4 or 5 activities and I just used one. Asked him the questions, asked him the answer. Then we went over them and we kind of spent the time elaborating on the answers. And it is very good to take notes because it's such a short time. You might skip something or forget something. So when you do jot it down, that is a way of kind of recollecting it, on your next meet. And it will blow their mind to realize that because my God, he has 4 dogs, 3 cats. He's got A's, C's, you know what I mean? So it's good for me to kind of get to know him in that sense because he is new to me. He's my 3rd kid. I usually follow one student for quite some time. So it's very rewarding to both mentors and mentees. I really enjoy it. So that's kind of, and even if you have any doubt or questions, you can also Google and just ask, what does it take to be a successful mentor? How do I get, things like that. It's a learning process. We all, started out with questions and, it just takes time to get there. So.
Excellent. Thank you. I think there was someone else that raised their hand as well.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. I normally feel that I would like to, and that's what I do. I mentor 2 high school girls that I want to have, if that happens, that they are constantly doing their thing, I would put some rules. Okay, if you want to do that, you can do it in your spare time, but right now it's my time. And we have to do things with each other, not you do your thing and I do my thing, then there's no reason to me.
I think there's some value in what you're saying. I think there's value in sharing what the student is interested in. And I also think that it's important that to continue having a conversation so that you both get to know each other, get to know that student's goals, that student's interests. So I think you have to find that balance between sharing what the student is doing and interested in, and at the same time sharing information and building a relationship with each other. All right,
Kevin,
anyone else?
Kevin has his hand raised.
Hey, Kevin.
Hello, this is my first year, my first time mentoring. It was a little scary at first, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little nervous at first, but just following the directions that I was given on how to speak with them, how to ask those questions, it broke the ice for myself as well. And like they said previously, what I noticed is that when you find out what they like and you do a little research on the things that they like, it surprises them. And it lets them know that you are listening. And I found that when you try to, what I try to do is also give them a vision. Once I researched what they like, I tried to give them a vision of owning that or creating that, whatever, whatever they're taking that interest in. And but yeah, I think that's one of the easiest ways to get through that door is, like they said before, research and find out what they like, research it, and talk about it, because it makes them smile, because now they know you're really listening to them.
Exactly. Excellent. Thank you so much. I like hearing when even guys say, I'm a little nervous too about this first meeting. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable and letting us know that. Excellent. Anyone else? Yes, Eva. Did you have a question? Yep, go ahead.
No, so I do agree that if we find something that they just share, even like the slightest little thing that we can pick up on and really research it and really make it our motivation to get to know them a little bit better, it does make a world of difference. They open up, they share. They're more motivated because of that. All of a sudden, somebody thinks that what it is that they're doing, whether it's just doodling, we think it's the most fantastic thing. And so just like the smallest little gesture in that regard. I've got one student, he's Egyptian. So I asked him about his culture a little bit, like what his favorite food is. And so I looked up the recipe, I made it. And then I shared with him what I liked, what I didn't like, and how I would change it, or maybe I would leave it the same way, So, and he was like, "You did that?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?" Right? Because that's because otherwise, why are we here?
That's right.
Right?
It is all about them.
It's about them, not about us. Yeah. So just embrace it, and there's nothing to be nervous. If we're nervous, they're nervous.
Exactly.
And I just feel that find that commonality, and I've grown because of it. I've learned through them. I've got 3 mentees, and I've learned through each one differently. It's fantastic, and it's extremely rewarding. So thank you for having this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we also really don't know the impact that we actually have. It might take several years to find out what that impact is going to be, if we even find out at all. And that's, again, like you said, what's important is that we recognize it. This is about the student. It's not about us. So that's excellent. Anyone else?
Michelle, Barbara's had her hand up for quite a while.
Okay, Barbara. You want to unmute yourself, Barbara? Wherever you are.
Okay, I'm going to hold this little book up that actually Debbie recommended, and I got it, and it's terrific. For icebreakers. The questions, I mean, that they truly are aimed at children, and I've done it, tried it with my mentee a couple of times, and she just loves it. It really brings on talk. So anyway, I do recommend that, and I appreciate Debbie recommending that a few weeks ago.
Great. Debbie, can you put the book in the chat for everybody? It is one of the best books out there. It's a kid's book of questions. It's awesome. It has a couple of questions per page, and it will ask questions that you wouldn't normally think to ask. It is a great icebreaker. I know that Debbie uses it with her students, and she said, I'd say to my student, pick a page. They pick 78, and she opens up that page to 78 and will ask a question, and it really helps to drive the conversation. They also have an adult book of questions, so that if you want to have a kitchen table family conversation with your spouse or your children, it's also quite awesome. It's a great book. Again, it's called The Kids Book of Questions by Gregory Stock. So Deb will put it in the, I think, you can get it on Amazon. It's like $9.99, something like that. It's the best book ever. All right, I think what I'd like to do is maybe we can go into some small breakout rooms, and then more people will get to share. And again, I want to thank our students. I know that some of our students have gone off to their classrooms. They were awesome. I just love that they were able to share with us. So thank you. And if the students who are on want to stay and go into a breakout room, that would be great. So it is 12:08. Let's spend about 15 minutes in the breakout room. And really, I think it would be great if everyone can continue to share out. I'm trying to look at what my initial thoughts were. Considering the information that you've learned from our panel today, what are some of the takeaways about the impact on mentoring that it's having on students, and what you all shared together about either things that you've done, things that work, things that don't work, and then let's come back about 5 minutes before we close. So I guess that will give us about a little bit more than maybe 15 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes to share out. All right, Deb. So Deb's going to take us out. We'll go into our breakout rooms and do some chatting, and then we'll come back about 5 minutes prior. Thank you.
Charles, are you there? I'm going to try to make sure I get you into a room, or click join. Dee, are you? I'm going to try to get you into a room as well. I'm not sure. Move to. There we go. Hi, Sandy. I'm going to put you in a breakout room where everyone's in breakout rooms right now. And the question is, what would you tell someone about being a mentor? And then let me see. Consider the information you learned. I don't know if you were able to hear the panels today. What are some takeaways on the impact mentoring is having on students? But I'm going to put you in a breakout room, okay? You'll have to unmute yourself. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I can unmute you. Oh, there you go.
I had some kind of problem with my computer.
Are you having some connection problems? I'm going to go ahead and move you into, oh, we lost her. All right, I'm going back. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to have the rest of the group joining us here in just a few seconds. Some people might be finishing up their rooms, but thanks everyone for staying with us.
Welcome back, everybody. We got cut off in mid section. Trinity had asked a question of our group, and I don't know where Eva is. I don't know where you went. You're somewhere in here, I'm assuming. I can't find you. Okay, anyways, I hope everybody had a great session. We have 5 minutes left. And I was wondering if some of our facilitators who were in other groups would like to kind of do a quick share out. Sheila?
Hi, we had a great discussion as always, break room 4. We were talking mostly just reflecting about what the students told us and the messages that we got, and some of our aha moments, just how impactful, we could be, how we heard students saying, it's a non-judgmental place, and that it's a place that, we can have another adult other than someone in their family to share with, and that just that whole idea of, what we say, this is an opportunity to have another caring adult. That was clear. We had a great idea. Just, we seem to be doing a lot of checking in with mentors. We send out newsletters, we have suggestion boxes, we have this coffee hour, we have lots of opportunity to hear feedback from mentors about what's happening in this virtual mentoring world now. Somebody suggested, do we ever ask the kids? Do we ever ask the students, how is it working for you? Do you need help? What would make it easier for you? So I thought that was an interesting and possibly something we might want to follow up on, and just the whole experience and how rewarding it is, and just more than you'd ever imagined.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sheila. I think that is a great idea, and maybe we can talk with our family and community liaisons about setting up some school individual sessions for sure. I think that's a really great idea. Dr. Brim, anyone in your group?
I think we had an awesome conversation, and some of the feedback about they felt that mentoring is just crucial. And some was like Miss Barbara said, that just relax. When you come into your session, just be who you are. And Kristen shared about she just opened up her home and let them see her yoga room to really let them know she's real people, real life. And the kids really enjoy. And of course, I don't want to mispronounce her name, Sage, always just say, people always think, or mentees oftentimes think their mentors are perfect. And just to relay that information that we're not perfect people. And it goes right into what Clyde said, where just say, hey, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't you lie to me. And we can build our relationship on trust. So some of those key pieces are just, I thought it was just wonderful. Thought it was a wonderful session.
Excellent. That's really.
And Angie got caught off, but she was just talking about the activities that could help support those initial conversations.
Yes. Deb, actually, if you could put the website for our mentor resources in the chat, that will be really helpful. We have lots of great, and we're always adding more and more resources to our website. So please go on the website and look at some of the topics and activities, as well as there's some games that we've put up so that if you want to play a game with your student, you're able to do that as well. I'm going to ask Kiosha, can you take a minute or so and share before we end our session?
Absolutely. Towards the end, one of our mentors stated that, it's just truly a blessing to be a mentor. You're able to get the background of the student, where they come from. They're able to share things that are going on in their daily lives. And as an adult, it gives us a perspective of just acknowledging it as a blessing, and for us to realize how much we have to be thankful for. One of the other things that we talked about is, again, the impact, and just being able to push through those awkward and quiet starts, and just continue on every week to learn more about your students and allowing your students to learn about you.
Okay, excellent. Awesome. Well, it's 12:30. I like don't want to say goodbye. I want everyone just to stay on and spend the day just continuing talking. But we have to go because we know it's only an hour. I want to thank everybody, especially our students. They were wonderful. We had Trinity in our session and she gave us a little show and tell on how to use a whiteboard, and just talking about, you know, how important it is to have a mentor to her, and she's hoping that her mentor will follow her on to the next grade level. So we were excited to have her in our session. Thank you, everybody. Our next session is on March 29th, if I'm not questioning. I was going to set up a particular session, I think, with the mentor from Colorado, but I was walking over the weekend and thought that I was going to do something different. So I'm kind of unsure about what our top is going to be. So we're going to work on that in the next week or two, and then we'll send out flyers for you all to sign up. I want to thank everybody again, especially our students, our facilitators who did the boardroom. I want to thank Sheila for doing the recording and Debbie for setting up the mentor meter, and thank all of you for coming today, for sharing your experiences with all of us. It is truly awesome, and I just feel so blessed to have all of you in our schools and in our lives. So thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a fabulous week.
I just
Take
want to say,
care. Oh, go ahead.